it going, everyone? Today I have a combi oven and the customer is claiming that it's boiling the chickens. So yeah, we definitely got a leak coming through one of the solenoids. So basically what happens in this instance is even if they put it in dry heat, it is going to steam everything like crazy. That is a lot of water coming through. So first thing we're going to do is unplug the unit. So by unplugging the unit, we're removing power from all solenoids. Okay, so that's going to tell us if it's a board issue or not. So if we unplug it and water's still coming through this distribution pipe, which it is, it's telling me that, okay, the board has stopped sending voltage. Don't look there for the issue. All right, so let's go map out our water circuit here and let's go see what solenoids are in question. So you can kind of see our water distribution tube right here, and there's two T's. So that's telling me there's probably two solenoids that are feeding that distribution tube. So the bottom one here, this solenoid here, that one is for the wash and the other one's for the steam. So as you can see, the steam one goes into this bottom one here of the T. So first one we're going to check first is this wash solenoid. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off water to the wash solenoid. So they're on different water sources, so that makes things easy. So let's shut off the wash solenoid and let's go see if water is still coming through the distribution tube. Yeah, it's still pouring through there. So that's telling me that one's good. So let's go turn off the one for our steam solenoid now. And let's go take a peek here. And look at that, water has stopped. So that's telling us the issue is going to be with this steam solenoid. All right, so let's just go ahead here and turn our water back on for our cleaning solenoid. Let's plug the unit back in, and then we're going to test this pressure switch really quickly. So let's plug her back in, fire up. And let's run a quick dry heat cycle here. So let's test across the contacts. So right now our water's off, so we should have 120 volts across this pressure switch. 0 volts would mean it's closed and we're getting 0 volts. It should be 120 volts right now. So let's go pull up a schematic, see what's going on. All right, so let's go ahead here and pull up our schematic. And wow, this is really small. So let's go find this pressure switch. And this thing is blurry, my apologies. It's not zooming great. So thermocouple, H2O. Oh, there we go, pressure switch. Beauty. All right, so I don't know if you guys can read this or not, but our pressure switch right here, and it looks like it's on pins 10 and 9. And here's our pressure switch right here, number 17. So if we read the schematic carefully, it's showing GRND. So that's telling me this is a 24 volt circuit or a 12 volt circuit DC. Okay, so we're going to be looking for DC voltage just based on this tip here that it's ground. So let's go put our meter to DC and see what we get. All right, take two. Let's see if we can get it right this time. So we're looking for DC voltage. So right now our water's off, so we should get either 12 or 24, whatever supply is. So 12 volts DC, perfect. That's what we were looking for. So let's go ahead here and turn the water back on. And it should drop to 0 volts DC. Because we do have water coming through the solenoid, and we know this because it's flowing through that water pipe, and we have 0 volts DC there. So the switch is closed and our circuit's complete for the pressure switch. All right, so I turned the water back off that steam solenoid. We're going to go fire up and dry heat. I do not have a steam solenoid in my truck. We'll order one. It's going to take 2 to 3 days. This site cooks a lot of chickens on this oven. They rely on this thing pretty badly, so we're going to cook in dry heat. We're going to put a pan in the bottom of the oven and do the old school combi style where we just put water in the pan. They won't be able to control the moisture as much as we want. But hey, at least they can cook some chickens instead of being down for 2 to 3 days. And we're still getting E105. This is not good. So that means the board is still looking for that pressure switch to close, even though we're in dry heat mode, which I don't understand why you would need that. Alright, so normally on a combi oven, if we have an issue with the steam solenoid pressure switch, we can still cook in dry heat mode. And what we used to do back in the day when they didn't have the pressure switches, put a pan of water in the bottom of the oven and it creates some steam. For whatever reason, they programmed this oven so that if the steam solenoid pressure switch is not closing, we can't use the dry heat. Now I could see that feature for the quenching solenoid, because if we shut the water off to that, we're going to over pressurize. I don't see why this steam solenoid needs to be closed. Okay, so for my techs and my techs only, the next clip I'm going to show what I did as a workaround. Anyone else watching this, I would just fast forward the next part. This will obviously void the warranty and things like that. I can't wait 3 days, so I'm going to do something here that I usually never do, but in this case we don't have a choice. Okay, I just want to cook in dry heat. Okay, that pressure switch should not be tied into the dry heat cycle. So for my techs, I'm going to run the next clip with no audio. And if you guys are going to do this, call me before you're doing this. And for anyone else, obviously, I do not recommend doing this. Don't even, I would literally fast forward to the next clip. I don't want to be responsible for anything that may happen to the oven because you're following what I'm doing. So this next part is definitely just for my techs. Alright, so sorry this is really blurry here, but as we said earlier, here's the pressure switch contacts on the board. So even though we're in dry heat mode, the board wants to see this switch close. So if I have the water off because my solenoid's bleeding through, we're never going to get our signal back to pin 9. Okay, so in dry heat mode, I don't know why that's relevant. Why does it care if my steam solenoid pressure switch is closing? Like they're not related to each other. So now I have to shut the entire oven off. So this part's kind of frustrating. So it's looking for this circuit to complete. And there's a way to do that temporarily. I won't super get into the details, but I mean, like, rewind a couple seconds there and you'll see what I did. But it will work with this workaround just for you to get by until you can get back with the part. All right, so I'm back with the part. Let's hit fast forward and swap this steam solenoid out. Alright, steam solenoid is finally replaced. Let's go run our Y1 steam solenoid. Let's just put our magnetic field detector and confirm that's the right one, and Y1 is for that steam relay. Perfect. So this is what I like to do. I'll run a 30-second test. So we're going to activate it, let water run out of the pipe. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stop the water. And then we're going to make sure the water turns off. And we're going to do this 5 times in a row. Okay, so we're going to hammer the solenoid on a 5 run test, and let's just make sure that water stops dripping out of that pipe. Make sure there's no bleed through and we're good. So let's run this. All right, so I'm going to repeat this test 5 times. I want to make sure this solenoid's good to go. And we'll just hit our fast forward here. And there's our 5th test. We're good to go. No more dripping. So you want to make sure you do this test because sometimes the new solenoids might fail. So just make sure you're being thorough in your testing. Always, always, always. And let's go fire up the unit now. And make sure we're no longer getting any E105s. And make sure that pressure switch is closing with our setting our 12 volts DC from that pin 9 to 10. And I put a little paper towel here just to make sure there's no leaks, because you can only test leaks coming out of the solenoid once you run it, obviously. So that paper towel will show me if there's any leaks. There's nothing there, so we're good there for the leak test. And our oven's firing up. No E105, we would have logged it by now. You can see we got tons of steam. So we're good there. And what I also like to do, so I've been running the oven for about 10 minutes here. Let's make sure that the pipe's no longer dripping. And let's just get a light in there so we can see a little bit better. And as you can see, that solenoid is closing now. It's doing its job. It's no longer bleeding through. We're no longer going to be boiling their chickens, as they like to say. Alright, the last thing we want to do is check the water pressure. So we're looking for 30 to 90. We want to make sure we didn't have high water pressure. That's why we blew the solenoid. We're getting 50 psi, so we're well within that range. We are good to go. Alright, sorry for the terrible lighting here. It probably looks like I'm shooting a scene from one of those Saw movies, but unfortunately I'm in quarantine, so I'm locked in my basement here, going insane, but that is what it is. So as you can see there, we had a small workaround for E105. I do not suggest ever jumpering, bypassing, whatever you want to call it, any kind of switch. In this case, that steam pressure switch is only for the steam mode and obviously for cleaning mode. Okay, if I want to cook in dry heat, I don't understand why I need that pressure switch to be closed. So I'm not throwing any shade towards Alto Shaam. We actually have a great working relationship with them. I called them up and tried to get some clarification as to why that switch needs to be closed. So they're going to get back to me, and hopefully we can figure a workaround, and hopefully there's no main reason why that happens. I could see on the quenching system, okay, if they have a pressure switch on the quenching system, we need a quenching solenoid to work, or we're going to over pressurize the unit and it becomes a huge health and safety. But for the dry heat mode, I don't super see why that switch has to be closed. So we're probably going to start stocking these in our warehouse anyways. I'm going to stock one because we're starting to see these a couple of these fail now. I think it's the 3rd one we've had fail. So hopefully we don't have to go into that bypass or jumper situation. Like I said, I do not ever recommend that, and I'm not attacking Alto Shaam. I actually support their products. As you can tell, I do a lot of training videos on their products. They're a great company to work with, and they've offered us so much training, and specifically to myself. And as you can see there, the schematic we pulled up, that's how we determined it was DC voltage. I was kind of chasing my tail there. I was getting 0 volts across. I should have been getting 120 or whatever the board's sending out. In this case, it was DC. So once again, the importance of your schematics when you're working on commercial kitchen equipment and repairing it. The schematics are just critical to everything you're working on. So just keep practicing on your schematics, and I'll see you on the next video.